A Kansas City nonprofit with the mission of promoting economic development in the city's urban core, now under federal investigation.
Now at issue is how the organization spent your tax dollars. Here's 41 Action News investigator Andy Alcock.
It's one of the crown jewels of Kansas City's 18th and Vine district. But now the historic Lincoln Building is at the center of an ongoing federal investigation into how the Black Economic Union, or BEU, spent taxpayer money on the building before selling it to Henry Service in 2017.
I can confirm the Office of Inspector General did sit down and talk to me, and I can confirm that I've got information that the FBI is looking into that organization.
41 Action News obtained a series of emails between Special Agent Joseph Lorick from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's Office of Inspector General and Stuart Bullington, the now former Assistant Director of Kansas City's Neighborhoods and Housing Services Department. In an August 2018 email, Lorick asked Bullington for an accounting of all federal money given to BEU. Bullington responds by sending a 2014 contract between BEU and the city to improve the Lincoln Building. The original contract was for $100,000 of federal money. $75,000 of that money was budgeted to update the building elevator. However, Service and former BEU board chairman William Harris say no elevator work was ever done. The last posted city permit for the Lincoln Building elevator expired August 1, 2014, weeks before BEU's federal money contract was signed. John Wood signed the deal for the city.
It would seem that if you're going to give a bunch of money to somebody to fix an elevator, that you'd want to go out and inspect it. Did you know why that didn't happen and if they did any work?
I don't know. I haven't even been in the building myself in a long time.
Just a few months later, in February 2015, the city gave an additional $71,500 in city tax money for more Lincoln Building work. And then the city gave BEU a second contract extension to complete the work. But in a Bullington email to Special Agent Lorick last year, he notes BEU spent less than $24,000 of the $100,000 in federal money and less than $39,000 of the $71,500 in Kansas City sales tax money.
We determined that the project wasn't going to be completed in a timely fashion, so we basically terminated the contract.
Federal investigators aren't the only ones to question where BEU's money is going. In this court record from a now dismissed lawsuit, former BEU board chairman William Harris claims other BEU leaders funneled tens of thousands of dollars from BEU to their own personal projects.
In that court document, Harris states illegal wire transfer took place. There are no source documents, contracts, orders, or other to show where that money went. Who is to blame? According to Harris's responses, former BEU Director Marvin Lyman and former longtime BEU advisor V. Weiser Dixon conspired to siphon BEU money to Dixon's business. Harris states they were talking about paying property taxes and mowing vegetation on all the vacant lot properties V. Weiser owns for his upcoming real estate development. Marvin used the term development costs, not for a BEU development, but for V. Weiser Dixon's development. When asked if Dixon has threatened your life by stating he would kill you if you ever revealed financial improprieties taking place within BEU, Harris responds, yes, that is correct. Dixon by email called Harris's accusations false, unfair, and unwarranted. He also said his attorney advised him against speaking on camera. As for Harris's accusations against Lyman, he too by email said there was no malfeasance or illegal activity by me. Federal investigators are now looking at BEU.
Do you believe that there is some kind of malfeasance with this organization or the city because of that?
I don't know.
After getting hundreds of thousands of tax dollars to fix up the Lincoln Building, including nearly $387,000 in federal stimulus money in 2009, court records show BEU sold the Lincoln Building for $750,000 in 2017.
For the life of me, I can't explain why they did what they did.
Former BEU board chair Chester Thompson told the 41 Action News investigators he was not happy with the sale and added the Lincoln Building didn't get handled the way it should have when I left. BEU later sued the new owner to try to get the building back. The case settled with undisclosed terms.
We settled litigation. I'm the 100% owner of the Lincoln building, and that's the way it should be.
BEU has a troubled history with the city over the last 20 years. In 2003, former BEU Director Sylvester Holmes pled guilty to embezzling more than $33,000 of the organization's money. City audit records show between 1999 through 2008, Kansas City gave more than $5 million in funding to BEU. Those same records show BEU had accounting issues every one of those years, including 2 years when BEU failed to submit a required report on time for the city auditor's review.
In the city auditor's December 31, 2003 report, for example, it states BEU paid a contractor without the contractor submitting invoices for approval. The contractor had control of the account and periodically transferred money out of the account. BEU paid the contractor in excess of actual expenses incurred. Despite those red flags, the city continued to fund BEU.
There seemed to be an ongoing sort of callousness or even lack of accountability, for taxpayer money in this situation. Would you agree with that?
It's not something that I would have done. I wouldn't have stood for it.
While Lyman didn't speak to us on camera, he did say BEU, a more than 50-year-old organization, has done a lot of good work in the community, like building low-income housing. Those projects include the Basie Court and MLK Village Apartments. But records show BEU had multiple accounting problems with the city's Housing and Economic Development Finance Corporation, basically a bank with federal money used to fund low-income housing projects. That bank had so much trouble, a federal judge took control of it away from the city for 8 years. In a 2012 YouTube video, Chester Thompson talked about BEU's debt on those housing projects when he took over the organization in 2007.
We found that BEU was in horrible trouble, just mess.
What do current BEU leaders have to say about their organization? We went to BEU board member Martinez Denman's home, but he made it clear, speaking from an upstairs window, he didn't want to talk to us.
Get off my property, sir.
Okay.
We reached out to other BEU leaders, including current interim director Kathy Broadhurst. In response, we received an email from the agency's attorney. BEU is unable to meet with you. The email also states BEU is in good standing, self-sustaining, successfully maintaining its current assets, and continuing to pursue its mission of economic empowerment for minorities in the Kansas City area. I'm investigator Andy Alcock, 41 Action News.
Now, this isn't the only allegation of taxpayer waste we've investigated. If you have something for us to look into, email us at investigators@kshb.com.